Shalom, Yashala, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. By Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Harakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Yashar Allah, call Elohim La Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Harakakodash. For blessing our elders with the spirit of truth. It's your brother Abaya coming at you with more precepts. Quoted precepts. The scripture says, dreams lift up fools. I say roughly paraphrase. So basically what that means is you can't take every dream that you have as what's going to come to pass. Right? That's just foolish. But the Lord does bless us with dreams for awareness and sometimes for situations to come. Alright, so I'm saying all this because I had a dream last night. It was basically a nightmare. But it wasn't your typical nightmare. It's not like it was just off the bat, just craziness. It was subtle. It was almost like a horror movie. You know how a horror movie it builds up to the whatever the horror is. And the only way it's a horror movie is because, the title and previews and so forth and so on. But looking at it through the mind or through the eyes of the individuals that's in the movie, they don't know they're in a horror movie. They're just living life. Right? So the dream that I had was like that. It was like normalcy. And I didn't know it was a nightmare until stuff started happening. So, let me explain the dream. I was in the market to buy a house, and it was a nice house. Right? House, horror movie. We already know where it's going. But anyway, it was a house. It was a nice house that was on the market, and I'm trying to buy it. And first, I was gonna go to a hooligan that I knew from back in the day to buy it because for whatever reason, right? He was selling houses through some program or some office, and so I was going to go through him to get the house, but something told me, contact the owner of the house, and I did that. And when I contacted the owner of the house, she said, yeah, I'll sell it to you. I'll be up there to give you a tour of the house in a moment. All right? It was a nice house, too. 3-story house. It wasn't like a big front yard. It was like a big driveway. Right? Like a huge driveway. And the porch was huge. And you had like a flight of steps you had to walk up just to get into the house. So I'm sitting on the steps waiting on the lady to come. And while I'm waiting on the lady to come, the hooligan that I knew showed up with some little fast girl, and it's like they were partying. And I'm laughing at the guy like that, man, you still with the nonsense. So what's going on here? While he pull up with his chick or whatever, and I'm sitting on the front porch. I'm like, bro, don't even worry about it, man. I got in contact with the owner, and she said she gonna sell it to me. So we good. Appreciate it though, And the dude, he wasn't mad. He just went, that's cool. That's what's up, got back with his girl, and went on about their business. So I'm waiting on the lady to show up. While I'm waiting on the lady to show up, the house was open, but I didn't walk through the whole house. I just walked through certain parts. And certain parts, it was alright. It's pretty, like I said, it was a pretty big house and pretty nice on the inside. So the lady showed up. Some guy that I suppose was supposed to be my dad showed up too. So like I said, it was like a movie. And it was like I was playing a character. You know how in the movies it may be based on something real, and they get characters to play certain parts. But so whoever this dude was that was supposed to be my dad showed up as well, and it was like children that showed up, like they were supposed to be my kids. I don't have no idea who these people were, right? So everybody showed up at the house, and the lady gave us the grand tour. We going through the house, and it was an attractive so-called white woman, right? She looked pretty okay, pretty good. So in the dream, I'm shooting my shot at her. She turning me down, but she liked whoever this person was that was supposed to be my dad. She liked him, and they were vibing. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever. And that's important too. Once I get to a certain part, you'll understand. So it's a lot. 1 second. The lady gave us the grand tour. What I noticed was it was specks of black mold. Right, once we got to a certain part of the house. So basically, the more of the tour that we went through, the worst stuff kind of got as far as the house goes. Right, so we got to the basement section, and it was like little specks of black mold. She was like, "Yeah, it's mold in the house, so no, it's no thing." I'm like, "Okay, bet, ain't no thing." So I'm gonna have it inspected anyway. These thoughts is going through my head while I'm in my dream. Right, I'm gonna have it inspected anyway. We'll get this straight. So we leave out of the basement and go into another area of the house that's still the basement, but it's like plumbing and water heater and stuff like that, right? But on the way to get into that section, you had to walk out the basement, walk down a flight of steps, and there was like a garden area. In that garden area, underneath the steps was like a water pipe, like a huge pipe to distribute water from one end of the house to the other. But it was covered up with big rocks, so I could see the pipe. It had somewhat of an opening, then big rocks. By the rocks, I saw a huge anaconda. But it was dead. So I was tripping because it's a freaking anaconda. But it was dead, so whatever. I ain't tripping. So I'm looking at all of this. So I saw the mold, I saw the big snake, I saw the rocks. Right? All of these, if you watching a film and you seeing this stuff, that would be your look, paying attention, moment. So, see the snake, then we go into the other basement area. And in the other basement area, it was formed in a certain type of way to where everything was kind of laid out. How can I say this? It was laid out in a certain type of way to where it almost looked like ritualistic in the house. You had certain areas that was gravel and dirt in squares. Then you had certain areas that were concrete. Then you had certain areas that were grassy. So I'm like, hey, can I put concrete over all of this stuff? And she like, once you get the house, I don't care. You do whatever it is you want to do. But it's suspicious to me because it's kind of hard to describe the way it looked. It looked dark and dreary, and it just looked very horror movie-ish. So we leave out of that area, go back upstairs, and we walk out of the front door. Now, So it was almost like it was two front doors. So the porch that I was sitting on in the first place, first part of the dream was actually the back of the house. The front of the house was towards a road. Across the street from the house was nothing but grass, but it was a blue satellite. A satellite that had a large blue light. Really? It was a satellite that had a large blue light on it. Ridiculous. And it looked familiar to me, like in real life. Like I've seen that before. And I can't pinpoint where I saw it. And that whole front of the house looked familiar to me. Like I've seen it before. I just can't pinpoint where I saw it. Right? So we walk out of the basement, walk out the front door. I walk across the street. And I see, I walk to the edge of the street. I didn't cross it, but I walked to the edge of the street. And it's a lot. I walked to the edge of the street and I was like, okay, I want to buy this house. It was all good. I said, she was asking like $500,000, like $500,000 for the house. This was a big house, right? In Alabama, $500,000, that's a pretty nice house you're about to receive. Anyway, I say, I give you $155,000 for it. That's all, because that's all I could gather up, I guess. So I give you $155,000 for it. And she was like, sure, that's no problem. Yeah, we can do that. I said jokingly, $155,000, what? This place haunted or something? I'm laughing. This place haunted or something? So I'm laughing. Whoever the guy is that's supposed to be my dad, he laughing. Whoever these children were, they're laughing. But the owner of the house is looking dead serious. She looking grave. She looking like she want to say yeah, but she kind of scared too. Right? So that's key too. Soon as I asked if the house was haunted and I saw her reaction, stuff started getting real dark. It got extremely dark outside. All of the lights that were in the house turned red. And the lady kind of just, I don't know, like in a scary movie, she just kind of faded into the house. Like she it's almost like she didn't walk. She just kind of floated from the front door to a side room that was right there by the front door. And whoever the dude was that was supposed to be my dad, the house captured him. It like, when I say captured him, I'm saying like it possessed him. I can see his eye, I can see him like, and his eyes turned all white. He couldn't move, right? And he got taken off of his feet and pulled into the house, and the door closed behind him. So by this time, I'm across the street. I'm not even on the property anymore. I'm across the street and I'm looking at what's going on. And my wife popped up in my dream. And it's a lot. When she popped up in my dream, she was terrified. And she didn't experience any of what just happened. She just popped up and was instantly terrified. And she was just gazing at that house. We were across the street. She was just gazing at that house. And I said, the ghost right there. And I looked at the house, and the side door had opened up. And the side door was like on the second floor, so it had a flight of steps that led up to a side door. When the door opened, you could see the red lights that were in the house just beaming out of that door, and a possessed teddy bear. But it was a big ass teddy bear. I want to say it had to be about 4 feet. Yeah, about 4 feet. Came out of the house and just stood at the door staring at me like menacingly staring at me. Right? And I don't know why the hell I did this, but like I said, I was in a dream. So when I saw it, I started doing this. Started doing that for whatever reason. So the thing turned around, walked back into the house, the door closed, and when it did that, whatever the house, the same thing that happened to whoever this dude was supposed to be my dad, it started happening to my wife. It grabbed her. And I ain't saying like hands came out of the house and grabbed her. It was like some kind of spiritual force grabbed her. And I could see the same. I looked in the guy's eyes that was all white. It was in her eyes. So it was some toddler that was with us. And I don't know where these kids come from, but some toddler that was with us. And like I said, we were across the street. There were no cars on this road. So it's almost as though the road was just a road that was behind houses, you know, and grass was behind that, just grass and hills. And all of a sudden, this car just come barreling down the road. So I grabbed the toddler and I tell my wife, I said, I get out the road, you know, get out the way. You know, this car coming. And she was like, okay, yeah. But she couldn't move. And the car hit her. And when it hit her, I saw her wrist break, I saw her legs break, and she hit the floor. And I dove on top of her, and I was like, you know, crying like and screaming her name. And I held her head, and I could see her eyes were still all white, you know. And only thing I knew to do was call in the name of the Lord. But whatever it was in that house, it had dried up my mouth so bad to where I couldn't speak. But I could get Yahweh out. And when I got out Yahweh, my wife's eyes came back. But she was still trying to get away from whatever it was that was grabbing her within her. So I'm trying to say Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Because anytime I get in real life, anytime I get scared, I get frightened about anything or a situation I'm not sure of, I call on the name of the Lord, and it's power in that name. It is power in the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Facts. So I finally got the name out, and when I finally got the name out, her whole self came back, uninjured. Everything was straight. Wrist wasn't broke, legs weren't broke. She was good, and I woke up. Well, before I woke up, I saw flashes of different people. And these were different people that the house consumed. They went through the same process I went through, but they didn't get away. I saw old men, old women, young men, young women, children, babies, couples. I saw all different varieties of people that were taken by this house, right? And I said, when I called on the name of the Lord, it brought my wife out from that house, and it brought me out of that dream. So the things that I got out of that dream was discernment first and foremost. If you love the Lord and you serve the Lord, He'll bless you with discernment. You may not even recognize that you have that discernment, but that it'll come through the decisions that you make. So when I first was about to buy the house from the hooligan that I knew, but instead called the owner, that was discernment. Because if I would have bought the house from the hooligan, he wouldn't have known anything about something being possessed or anything being haunted. So I would have just purchased this thing, moved in this thing, and been stuck with this thing and been taken by this thing. Like all of the people that were shown, you know, right before my eyes. Right? Secondly, be aware of the people that's around you, because that lady knew that different people were taken by that house. She knew it, and she had no quarrels about adding me to that list. I said once I got to a certain part of the house, it looked ritualistic. So I was being set up to be a sacrifice. Right? Next thing, wickedness knows who it wants. That house really wanted whoever this person was that was playing my dad. It really wanted that person. And that person really wasn't, he wasn't fighting the feeling. I say that because, like I said, him and the lady, they were vibing. So the house took him. No battle, no nothing. And I wasn't even concerned about it because it wasn't my dad. I don't know who that person was. The children too. They were not my kids. So there was no call with, whatever. Take them. Right? And how scripture tells us that our wives our women are a weaker vessel, those are facts. Because when my wife appeared in it, she got taken by the house too. Well, she didn't get taken, but the house grabbed her, right? And if I didn't have the connection to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, it would have ultimately taken her life, right? And would have taken me too, because what the hell is this? If I was still in my nigga mindset, I'd have been done as well. All of this is a dream, but I got lessons out of this dream. And this is all the Lord giving me the lessons in this dream. Right? And ultimately, like I said, it's power in the name of the Lord, man. It is power in the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. That's why scripture says, the righteous calleth upon that name and it's safe. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. So, even though, you're not supposed to, adhere to these different dreams that you may have, like that's exactly what's going to happen. Don't do that. But the Lord does give us dreams for purposes, right? And when those dreams speak to your spirit, bro, it's speaking for a reason. Adhere to the reason, get the lesson out of it, right? And grow therefore. Call Elohim La Yahweh Wa Yahweh Shai Ba Shamar Kwakudar Shalom Yasha Allah Wa Ba Ba Ba.